Welcome, everybody, to This Is Difficult, the podcast where we attempt to talk about video games until we crash or something horrible happens to our sound, and we love to do it either way. So welcome. I am one of your hosts. I am Josh. Lord Yeshua is my thingy, and we have Paul. You're on his channel right now. That's Ryugami-san. And then we got Zach. Actually, no, what's your thing again? I already forgot.
Another letdown.
Another letdown.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm so bad. I'm sorry. It was another letdown right there on my part. Anyway.
Good thing Yeshua figured out.
Yay!
Did you see Dutchy's comment? Good thing Yeshua found out he was in general voice chat.
Yeah, the whole podcast was about to be streamed for free. Wait a sec.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. So, hey, we have a special guest this week, my friend Zach. He likes to fill in. We like to have him fill in every now and then. Colin is dying.
He's dying. I'm in his
Probably not. I hope not. Honestly, he's sick though, so he's taking the week off. He's a little under the weather, so
get him some PTO.
We got our special guest Zach with us, and we're pretty excited about it. Zach, it's been a while since you've been on with us. Tell us a little about yourself and what you like to do, what kind of games you like to play, what you stream, so on.
Yeah, so I'm Zach. I stream at the Twitch channel Another Letdown. I do video games and tabletop board games and miniatures painting now, which has been a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I do some video games on my own, just stuff that I've either missed because I didn't grow up with games or just absolutely love. I'm going to be starting Batman Arkham Asylum again very soon. Super excited. I can't wait to get back to that. Currently, I'm finishing up Mega Man Battle Network, and then I do some games with my buddy Alex. We just finished Gears 5, and I'll talk about that soon. Then Chamali and a bunch of us play the Buffy the Vampire Slayer board game. Which is super duper fun.
I actually saw you playing, and I was like, wife, they have a Buffy the Vampire board game.
What? I met the whole cast of them when I worked for Comic-Con. They're fun.
So I was telling the crew the other day, Allison Hannigan and her husband Alexis Denisoff popped into the comic book store like years ago.
Sick. You know, like, hey, I'm currently playing your game. Wait.
Well, this was a while ago. So Alexis Denisoff graduated from high school about 15 minutes south of where I live. So, yeah. Wow. So they were just in the area for like a reunion thing.
Wait, doesn't he have a British accent in the show?
In the show, yes.
He's not a British guy.
He's not a British guy. Neither is the guy who plays Spike.
Well, I knew that about Spike. I knew that about Spike.
Already.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
I never watched one episode. Buffy's a character, right?
Buffy's rad. Though honestly, if you ask me, I think Angel's a better show. That's a controversial opinion for some people.
I think they're both probably too cheesy for me.
Here's the thing. Buffy really laid the groundwork for literally every supernatural TV show that came after it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, like,
not even X-Files,
bro. Well, that was the same era. They were. So, but like, I'm telling you, like, literally every like CW show that you see, like,
we also talk about
all the vampire shows. Yeah. Well, that's our thing, right? We talk about video games and other things, but mostly video games.
Fandoms.
Yeah. So, anywho. What else, Zach?
And then so Saturday nights, my buddy Broody Gambit and I hang out and paint minis. I was working on I don't have any in front of me, but the Firefly miniatures game. So I did a bunch of Fireflies last night. That was really fun.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Well, we're excited to have you today. Have you guys been playing any video games this week?
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Someone else go first.
Paul, why don't you go first? Because I think Josh and I are going to dive in on Mario.
We're pretty deep on that right now, drowning in it.
So the only thing I've really played this week,
a light week for all of us.
It was kind of a light week, but I dove in hard with this game, and I'm actually going to be doing a review of it this week.
Today.
So
wow,
I played the new Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
What is that? Wait, what?
So there's a new expansion that came out for Ghost of Tsushima that, like, honestly,
like 4 minutes ago, dude.
It came out on Friday.
Well, I'm saying, like, this game has been out since July and there's already DLC for it. Come on.
That seems very hasty.
That's very hasty,
dude. I'm telling okay, I'm gonna get more into it on the review. But I will tell you this: if Ghost of Tsushima just came out as Legends mode and didn't have the other mode, I would still buy this game.
That's right.
Like,
but you had to buy it twice now.
Nope, it was free.
What? Wait, why? It's just the
Because
upgrade?
you own the game.
Okay.
Free
So
DLC.
now we're dealing with free DLC. Ah, so you got to lead with that.
So we'll get into that
Okay.
more, but I'm really excited to
Okay.
talk about that. I'm actually gonna review that tonight though. So yeah,
Excellent.
I'm gonna leave
Goof
that
Troop.
one on the table right now. Goof Troop, I will do a review of. I could do a review of it this week, but it'd be real short, and I
SNES
wanna
Goof Troop?
SNES Goof Troop.
Oh wow, that's a good game.
Nice.
I did actually, so I did play that this last week, and I enjoyed it, but it's very clearly made
Dated.
to be well, I mean, I think for what it is, it's a fantastic game and it holds up. The graphics are good, the whole bit, but it's very clearly designed to be co-op. And so playing it solo is incredibly hard. And requires a lot of backtracking to get the right items that you need and stuff.
That's
So
annoying.
so I'll definitely finish that game. Hopefully I can do some co-op with someone so that I can give you like a full review of that game. But I'm not going to talk about that one this week because I think that I'm really excited about the Ghost stuff and I can give a full review for that this week.
That's fair.
I mean, the one question I would ask about Goof Troop, and this is a rhetorical question, I suppose, but like with Disney canonizing all of the Disney afternoon shows into the one DuckTales universe, how long before we get a revival of those kind of games?
Very
with everybody
soon,
all
probably.
there. It's got to be coming, right?
I would say we get like either like a variety pack or like an all-in-one or like remake them all. I don't know why not. These platforming type games are so classic.
So
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
disagree with you guys, but I will say this. Disney has basically kind of they're partnered with EA to make video games. And the only games that they're doing right now are Star Wars. And they've gone on record being like, "Hey, we just trust EA to do whatever the hell they want to do." And so I don't think EA has any interest in doing those games. So I think that you know, those games making a significant comeback is unlikely unless they get people who actually care about those properties being in video games again.
What's the likelihood of them being released on like the Super Nintendo online thing or anything like that because the property is owned by EA or whatever? I wonder if they're gonna like share old properties. Like again, you don't think like Lion King and Goof Troop would come to the Super?
So a few of them were recently remade. You had Lion King and Aladdin.
We had Aladdin?
Aladdin was remade.
They weren't like remade. They were like remastered and re-released on every console, I think. Yeah. And what did that come with? I believe it came with
Chamali's dumping it for us.
Yeah, Chamali's dumping so the Disney's Afternoon collection comes with
where was this?
What is Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Rescue Rangers 2, DuckTales 2, Darkwing Duck, and Tailspin. Which that's a nice little collection. And then there was also, like I said, there's here we go. He posted the Lion King too. See, this is why we have Chamali around. So I believe this has several versions of both games, I think.
That's insane.
Yeah, multiple versions. I believe it's got like the Game Boy version, the maybe both the Sega and the Super Nintendo versions of both of these games. I could be making that up. I might be totally wrong on that. But I know there's a few different versions of both games on Lion King and Aladdin. So they have re-released these games, and you can get them on like modern consoles and, you know, your computer or whatever. But like them actually making a new game in that vein, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, and the other consideration in that regard would be like the voice actors that they've got playing those characters now are like all high profile actors. Lin-Manuel Miranda, for example, it would be nuts.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So I mean, who knows? Yeah.
Someone stole Paul's wig.
Oh no, where'd your hair go?
I had a wedding to go to yesterday, so I actually, buzzed the hair down, trimmed the beard up. You can see.
Wow, I love this. This comes on every console. So this is what I want. Like, can they release like a Mario World / Land and a Donkey Kong Country / Land like bundle? Like I would buy like Super Mario Land 1, 2, 3, and then World 1, 2 on one game, and then like Donkey Kong Country and Land 1 through 3. Man, I would buy the shit out of all of these things.
I would, like, I'd make sure I got a hard copy of those.
Oh yeah, I would get hard copies. I mean, yes, get a hard copy. No, but yeah, come on, Nintendo, everybody, let me just take my money, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. What games did you guys play this week?
What do we play?
So speaking of shut up and take my money, Nintendo, let's go with it. I've been picking my way. I should say picking my way through. I'm not trying to go quickly through Mario 64, mostly because the camera just drives me absolutely up a wall.
It gets better in the next two, but yeah.
Yes, yeah. I've played Galaxy recently enough to remember, you know, most of it. But like I played like the first bit of 64 back when it came out, and then Super Smash Brothers came out, and that was that.
That's my online life for a year.
Yeah. So like I'm really just experiencing Mario 64 for the first time, and it's really, like, aside from the camera being horrible, it's still really fun.
Oh yeah.
And incredibly challenging. I'm really enjoying it, and I am very much taking my time through it. And enjoying the challenge and the environments and the various like differences in surfaces and stuff like that. So
Mario is really momentum based in that game. It's like, and the surface, like you're saying, it just like matters so much how you jump and like on what angle and all that. It's almost like you're like a piece of geometrical like blocks, and you go up all these other geometrical blocks with like speed, momentum, and all these angles in like, it's more of like a math game in some aspects than the other Mario games, where Mario is more tethered. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
No, you're exactly correct. Yeah. That's exactly how I'm feeling.
I guess that's how you explain it.
Yeah, I couldn't.
That one's probably my favorite on that collection, just because to me it's a brand new game. Not only does it look like a modern game, because like the upscale that they put on it just looks so gorgeous. Like it just it's not so old that like just upgrading the resolution does such a wonderful job of making the game look incredibly good. And also, I never played it when I was younger. You know, I never played it when it came out. So to me, it's like a brand new game. I was not a fan of the Wii. I thought the Wii was a steaming pile of.
Are we talking about Galaxy? Or are we talking about 64?
Galaxy.
He's talking about 64. Yeah,
I was talking about 64, but
I thought you guys were talking about Galaxy. My bad.
Silly boy. No, we did for a brief second.
Yeah.
I thought you switched.
Galaxy,
we brought it back. Damn it.
64.
Galaxy I played. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good, man. 64, I've played the shit out of, and I still love that game. You know?
Yeah, there we go. Easy peasy. Yeah. But I agree on the Galaxy enhancement. It is like a brand new game. It looks like a hair. Like if Odyssey looks like a 10, like this is like a 9.5. It really is that polished that it looks like it could have come out on the Switch.
Yeah,
very
that's
polished.
What I'm saying. Yeah,
I think only the slight like surfacing like smoothness is the only thing holding it back from looking like a Switch launch. Like very rarely I'll notice like angling on circular items. I don't know, stuff like that you know it's an older game, but
yeah. I have very fond memories. Galaxy was the game that my buddy and I played in college, like start to finish. Like we would race home after class, play a bunch of Galaxy, and then go do our homework.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah,
and Galaxy 2, I like 100%ed that like straight. Oh my god, my whole week straight. Like, ooh.
So Galaxy 2, Game Grumps is currently doing a playthrough of Galaxy 2, and Aaron made a really good point. Like usually I don't listen or care about what Aaron Hansen has to say, but he made a really good point about Galaxy 2. He said it's a great game, but it's incredibly forgettable because the mechanics are exactly the same as Galaxy 1.
Yeah,
fundamentally. And
I would say Galaxy did the breakthrough move. Yeah.
So you know, interesting thought, and I, for some, surprisingly kind of agree with him.
I don't know. For me, I think that Galaxy did the breakthrough move, and they're like, wow, like these mechanics, and this is Mario in the 21st century. Like we have the new Mario. This is how we're going to run with him. These designs are all going to be crazy, each level and mini game. And like, you know, every time you go into a pipe, it's like a new crazy thing. Okay. Way more than even Sunshine, which kind of led our way into that. But But I think that Galaxy 2, it almost felt like DLC for Galaxy 1, where there was just like so many more fucking levels and these designs. And you could really tell they were like, do whatever you want, like creatively with these levels and just like make it crazy. And for me, there was just so much more variety. I think I liked it more. And I feel like the controls were slightly tighter. This remake might say differently now that the controls are almost the same. I think this remake kind of tightened them, but we got to hydrate.
That's funny.
Wait, is that a thing? You got to drink water now?
Yeah, typically we don't do. I discourage using channel points during the podcast.
OT.
I got like
just because it interrupts the flow. But I'm happy to take a sip of water.
That's funny. I also got distracted though, but yeah, I totally agree though. Yeah, I'd say Galaxy leaves more of a timestamp in the Mario universe, and for that, yeah, I wish they were just one game. That's the thing. I wish instead of having like extra stars on either of them had green stars or whatever, that those were just like extra levels in some capacity to that massive game already. Because I love the hub world. I like when Mario has like a world to walk around and live in. Like Delfino Plaza is my favorite hub world ever. And I think the satellite, what the fuck is it called? The observatory is really good. Yeah. It's like it's almost a tie for the castle for me in 64, which is the castle's pretty damn good too.
Castle's really rad. Yeah.
But then in Galaxy 2, we see a fucking head that's a spaceship, and literally there's nothing to explore except it like has collectibles they've already collected on it, and I'm like, this isn't really exploration. It's got a few lives on it, but lives don't matter anymore. Right. So yeah, it started to break away, and then Odyssey, I think, broke away the most. It's like kind of did a Breath of the Wild move where I love Odyssey. I'm not saying it was in Breath of the Wild vein where it wasn't a Mario game. Definitely is a Mario game and amazing, but it definitely is now. We have to rein Mario in, I think, before it gets too out of control because we're losing what it was a little bit, but not completely.
Yep.
I don't know.
But I've been having fun with it, so that's. I know
it's so fun. I just went off a little tangent. Yeah.
No, you're good, dude.
Who's guest agreeing next week? Paul's going to be absent.
Yeah.
for Paul next week.
Yeah, I don't know. Who could we? I am camping next week.
What the fuck? Are we not going to be here?
No, I'll be here on Sunday. Sunday.
Okay.
I'm camping Saturday night, coming back Sunday, so we'll be good.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't say my games yet.
Yeah, what'd you play?
Do it.
Yes. I also played the Mario Collection hard. I played a little 64. I'm honestly kind of like wanting some newer mechanics right now. So I know saying that I've been playing Sunshine all week, and that's not really newer mechanics, but in my opinion, I know Paul disagrees. We can have a little tiff about it here in a sec. I think that Sunshine handles the best. I think that Mario feels the most fluid, where I can literally be standing still. Like Mario can be standing still and like quickly jut back and like do an immediate like kick flip and like do all these very, very fast movements. And like when I stop Mario, he immediately stops on the edge perfectly. And he turns on a dime, everything. And that's more what I mean about how this game just feels better than the other ones. But I don't think it's a better game overall. I do think that Sunshine, like we were just saying earlier, led the way for like new crazy platforming in the platforming world. Like the mini games are like intense. They are very non-forgiving and like really push 3D platforming into a way that 64 was more like levels and stuff. And this is more like, okay, intense platforming, like goals and like activities. And like, these are intense in 3D. And we haven't seen this shit before to an extent.
Yeah. I don't know. So my thing about Sunshine is, I mean, it's my least favorite of the collection. Like I was saying before, 64, I love. I've played the shit out of that game. You know, it was my childhood. Whatever. Love that game. Galaxy feels like a brand new game to me. So, because it kind of is, and I love that. I did have some exposure to Sunshine. I played it a little bit when it came out, but mostly watched my brother play it. Yeah. But playing it now, like, there's something about it that just feels so removed from like what I feel like a Mario game should be. And maybe it's the flood mechanics, or maybe it's I don't know, the setting feels weird. I don't know. I can't really. It's one of those things I can't really put my finger on.
I will say that this game is the one Mario game where if I rip out Princess Peach and the shines, you know, and make them something else, and even the shines aren't stars, and I turn Mario into someone else like Conker or whoever. Yeah. This game pretty much would still hold as it was. And so in my opinion, it's just like about the platforming, but I agree, it doesn't really feel as much like a Mario game as the other ones do. But there is some fucking hardcore Mario platforming that could only be found in a Mario game, I think, too. But it is
There's some
pretty
good
far
stuff. To me, it's my least favorite of the three.
all the characters are like Japaneseized, like all the Goombas are like quonks, and like everything has a different name. I had the player's guide, and like everything had a weird Japanese name, and like the Koopas weren't Koopas, like nothing was the same. And even if when you look at them, they're not the same looking. They look kind of off. Right? I'm not joking at all. Look, I just made up a random name, but they're all like not named correctly. Someone look this shit up. But like, so the whole game is kind of off. There's voice acting in it, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the voice acting I hate, actually. For some reason, I don't know. So I hate the voice acting in that game.
Great,
like,
Junior.
everyone just sounds weird. I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me feel remind me of John Goodman a little.
I streamed Mario Odyssey a while back, and making up my own voices for characters is part of the is part of the fun. Yeah, and you know, even I think back to playing Mario 60 or watching my buddy play Mario 64. We would make up our own voices as part of that, and I think it's just you put voice acting in, and you're kind of losing something.
So I'm looking at the names of these things,
these
and they're all the same.
These are not the characters that are in it, though. They're not the bombs. Same. If you look at it, they don't look like that. No, give me the player's guide. Give me the player's guide.
Bombs, piranha plants, boo.
No.
These all sound. I don't see any Quimquomps or whatever he said.
Where's the actual Goomba? Wait, I swear to God, I want to like get out the player's guide. I swear to God, I'm not crazy.
Cataquack?
Cataquack? Hold that thought.
Yeah, but Cataquack is not. That's not a classic.
Wait, I do. Wait, hold up.
All right, pull it up.
Not the player's guide, but I have the.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, this should help. Maybe I'm just crazy. I could have sworn. Are there bad guys in this even? Probably not. Watch. Look, Quing Kwong. What's the Goomba called? What's the Goomba called? Help me! It's all just about how to move Mario, really. I don't think there's going to be any bad guys in here. Woo. Okay, well, whatever. Fuck you guys. I really thought. I guess I can't read.
All right.
Where are we even? That's not all I played, though.
What else did you play?
I also played. God damn it. I don't even know how we got there. I also played a lot of Mario 35. And so this game is the game that I'm really sad is a limited fucking release. And my review last time I gave a review on this, I probably only did like a 70% justice on it because I'm realizing how many things I didn't even touch upon. Once I played it like for another week, I was like, oh wow, I didn't even realize like it's not just like running through the levels and stuff and like trying to beat the levels at all. It's literally trying to kill your opponent the whole time. And so you want to go to the harder levels specifically to find harder bad guys to kill your opponents with. And now that I've gotten ways to, and there are ways to like, you can like put your cursor on random and then quickly move it to attacker so that random person who also moved it to attacker and you were their attacker for a split second will start attacking you. And I learned basically how to gather hordes of people attacking you. And so you get a shit ton of people to kill and a shit ton more people sent out and you get a shit ton of time and coins and everything. And then you get KOs, which is actually your guys kill people. So if your Goomba kills that guy, you get the KO. And I didn't realize this because I wasn't doing it right. You get the KO and you get all of his coins and time. So that's fucked. So if you get like 1 or 2 KOs, you're probably going to win if you don't fucking fall in a pitfall. Pitfall is like the way I've been losing in this is like almost 90% of the time I would say a pitfall, like not even Lacatis or anything anymore. Regardless, I've been winning a little bit, so I'm pretty excited. But awesome. This is an awesome game. I will buy this game, Nintendo, if you're listening, if you will make like, I don't know, because they just don't want to keep up the servers. I have no reason behind them.
Wait. Time out. I thought it was a limited time that you could download it. They're going to shut down the servers?
Exactly. So what? I don't know. I think, so it's the Mario 3D All-Stars was a limited time release.
Yes.
But 35 is literally a limited time play, period.
No way.
So it's not a limited time download. It literally says it is only available until March 31st. And in my opinion, that is so fucking stupid. Someone fact check me on this, Kamala. Give me a fact check. But I'm 99.9% sure Come on, Jamali, come on.
Why would you waste? Like, I feel like that's just a giant waste of resources for them to even bother programming.
I'm certain, actually. I'm certain, yeah, that it's just a limited launch, and it's really no. But I feel like I want someone to fact check me still. I kind of do. Let me just Google.
Yeah. You're correct. According to Jamali, you are correct.
You are correct. Good. I just needed him to say that.
Backwards.
Yeah. So me, I think there are a few reasons to launch this game. Obviously, it's a thank you to the fans and whatnot, but it's also kind of a fuck you to fans because Tetris 99 has been going for 2 years now, and that is Battle Royale. So it's like, what? Why can't we play Mario 35? If it's leading to see if this kind of game would be fun for us, maybe do Zelda ones, Donkey Kong ones, whatever in the future. Maybe they're like toying with the idea of releasing an actual paid copy of it. And they're like, okay, the permanent release, and it has way more features. It's co-op, it's everything, you know, and you pay like maybe $20 for it. And I would do that. I would do, or if they say free with the subscription and we're just going to keep it going just to up their subscription base, their online subscriptions. That's another possibility. This one, that will only be available until March 31st. Yeah, isn't that crazy? This last one is less likely, but to find the best Mario player in the world, this is literally how they used to do stuff with tournaments and stuff. To find the best
There's a whole movie about it.
There's a whole movie about it. So this is the one I want to be real, is that they are hunting for the best Mario players, and eventually they'll release other versions of other games like Zelda, Donkey Kong, etc. Star Fox. Oh, I like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, bring it. All of it. Anyway, and like truly your reflexes do have to be godly to win a game. Like it's one thing for someone to fall into a pit, but to beat them in a game of attrition with all these bad guys flying around, like it takes Mario to the next fucking level. And to me, it's like endlessly entertaining for that reason. I didn't know that. But anyway, so I don't know what the answer is. Maybe they're hunting for the next best Nintendo player. Maybe they're repping up for a launch. Maybe they didn't think it would be popular at all, and they just wanted to see it. But like, I don't know why they would put all their eggs in one free basket in the first place if they weren't planning on people liking it.
All their eggs in one free basket.
That's the thing. They launch it for free initially, and they were hoping for people to like it, right? So like, why wouldn't they? So maybe,
and this is probably a long shot. It might not happen, but maybe there's like a prototype or like a beta for a game that they want to actually release. Hopefully,
Mario 100.
There's really no way to know. Yeah.
I think it would be cool to do a Mario 100 launch for the people that want that 100 feel, and then they would have different number modes too. I don't know though. The fact that there's only one mode is pretty special
and
too.
Maybe different Mario games too, other than just Mario 1.
I like
Mario 2, Mario 3.
Oh, see,
Super Mario.
Which Mario 2 though?
Like,
oh my God. So what if we did a different version for each one, and like you were the best in each category instead of just like, oh, I'm really good at Super Mario World mechanics, but like they only have Super Mario Bros 35. So like, what if they just released the Super Mario 35 collection?
Yeah.
And it's literally an online only with your subscription, and it was like you're saying everything. That's platform.
If they did the real Super Mario 2, which would be here the Lost Levels, I feel like that just feel too much the same, because the mechanics in that game are the exact same as the mechanics of Mario 1. It's just harder levels. It's just much harder levels.
Bad guys. You can't jump on top of bad guys to kill them.
You're thinking of
Super
the
Mario
American release of Mario 2, which is a reskin of Doki Doki Panic. So the original Super Mario 2 only came out in Japan initially. We didn't see it until Mario All-Stars released and gave us the Lost Levels.
Good.
Yeah, the Lost Levels is the actual Mario 2.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I think that doing like
I played it recently. It was brutal.
That game's brutal as shit.
So hard.
I don't know if I've ever beaten it.
But it's the same mechanics. So like they could just be like harder levels, I guess, but anyway, probably won't happen. So
I think the levels is probably the cool part, because for me, like until you're in the top 10, like tossing around like Lacatis and Bowsers and everything, like bouncing that shit between 5 people, and then they bounce it all back, and now you have 20 beat bops on the battlefield and whatever, and bullet bills are flying. Okay. What's really special about that is like the last 10 people, right? Because you're not in the deep levels until then. So I would love one with a more variety, like an insane variety of enemies on all levels, because literally level 1 through like 8, like level 1 through 1-4, and then 2 through 2-4 are all just Goombas, Koopas, and Paracoopas. It's like really boring for the first like 20 people. So I don't know. What I'm trying to say is it would be cool if they even like switched between all the games and all the levels and like everything and like the best Mario player through all of them, like constantly throughout the entire thing, even like random level from a random
Becomes
game.
the new king of Nintendo.
Yeah, the new king of Nintendo. Can I have that crown?
Yeah,
Okay,
hilarious.
come with me on this journey.
Oh, I'm in it.
What if this is a pilot of some kind?
Say less. Say
For-
less.
No, say it.
What if this is a pilot of some kind for some new Mario Maker feature?
And see, that's the thing I always go back to when I'm thinking
That'd be
like,
rad.
oh, they're going to enhance or they're going to release a blah, blah, blah. Like, my mind always goes back to like Mario Maker is kind of all encompassing all this right now. I was really expecting Mario Maker to have a bunch of like added skins and added like 64, Sunshine, you know, like all of those get added in. And even if it was going to be 2D, they still did 3D World. And like, I'm thinking, I just want the mechanics from those games in Mario Maker, like how Mario feels in 64 and how he feels in Sunshine and Flood in 2D. Oh, come on, all of it.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were not going to stop, and they did. So it kind of was like, for me. I love that game to death, but I think I've drained it. I need like tons more stuff in that, and that could be like the IP that Nintendo keeps like filling up with cool stuff. I don't know if this could be like even an add-on, like literally online mode, an add-on to Mario Maker, and literally could go through random people's levels, and you could select the difficulty you want to be on. Like, oh,
That'd
let's
be
play
terrifying.
5. But and it could
that'd be brutal.
brutal. Everyone plays the same troll level at the same time. Or it's
Oh,
like
God.
maybe they could be created by Nintendo people. You know what I mean? Like, because they do that. They have the staff levels too, and so they're not troll. And you don't just get like, oh, I'm stuck in a door. Like everyone loses at the same time. No one wins. That just would be terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Mario Maker, huge accomplishment. Mario 35, huge accomplishment. Nintendo's really doing some good stuff. They need to like tie it all in. Because I feel I have a lot of games like I feel like I could put into one game like they did with the 3D All Stars collection, but could have even been more, I think. And I don't know. Nintendo's just juggling a lot right now, but each one doesn't feel like 100% anymore. I want like way more combined. I don't know. I'm just talking a lot.
Makes sense.
Like Hyrule Warriors, I'm gonna love this, but I'm also like kind of whatever on it. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys.
I'm more excited about Hyrule Warriors than I am about Breath of the Wild 2.
I don't know. I can't be more.
Because here's the thing. Yes, because I think the first Hyrule Warriors game is more of a Zelda game than Breath of the Wild was. And I think the same thing is going to be true of the new Hyrule Warriors versus Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
So,
I do love all that. I just don't want to get bored with slaughtering hordes of. I guess it won't be that
it'll be
bad.
really story driven. So
True, and I really do like that. I do want the story, and all the characters seem like pretty important this time around. And last time there were like a lot of nobodies I didn't really understand. And I'm like, this time around it seems like it is.
You
all
didn't like
about
playing as Tingle?
No, I didn't like playing as like Lena and like random like anime characters that like the blue hair chick, and like I was like, who are these people?
Yeah, who the fuck are these people? Yeah.
I'd much rather be Tingle than any of them. That's the thing. Like the anime,
at least it's recognizable.
No, not Lonk. Linkle. I was like, come on, dude. Like, what is that? Alternate universe Link? Like,
yeah, it was girl Link.
We have Zelda. We have badass Zelda and Impa and everything. Do we really need to turn Link into a girl? Like,
yeah, that seems unnecessary.
It seems like I guess some people got what they wanted, and most of the fans weren't butthurt. Like I'm not really like mad at Zelda for it. You know what I mean? But it's like, what are they doing? What are they doing? So like that game was a lot of like extra shit and DLC and like stuff that I kind of got lost in. And I was like, so this one I'm really hoping, like you're saying, if it's story driven as fuck, like the actual Dynasty Warrior games, like in this one, the first like Zelda Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors was like kind of story. It was more like kill the base boss and like it was, you know what I mean? Like
it had some really good modes though. I will say that there were some really good modes. And like the adventure mode or whatever, which kind of made it feel even more like a Zelda game.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah. But
really
the world,
cool.
They're really tying it in with like graphically and everything this time. I will say I probably will enjoy this one more than I did the first, because it's like it is Breath of the Wild with the characters and everything, as opposed to like you can be anyone from this one. It's like who knows how they're gonna do it eventually, but like the first one kind of seemed more like a Super Smash Bros. For Zelda, if that makes sense. Yeah, and this one seems more like story driven, like you're saying. So only people in this timeline are really gonna be in it. I'm hoping. I mean, right? I haven't heard otherwise. So we'll see. I'm getting the game. I'm just not thrilled because I am more excited about true story Zelda games. But if this really adds some meat to the saga, I will be so happy.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. You guys ready for a review?
Let's do it. Poop Troop.
Let's do it. Okay. We are not reviewing Goof Troop this week. I will review Goof Troop, but not this week. This week we are reviewing Ghost. Oh, let me turn off the sound on this. Merp. There we go. We're reviewing Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Okay, we've done a review of Ghost of Tsushima before on the podcast, but they just released a free DLC for the game that, if you ask me, could be an entire standalone game as a games as a service. Again, Paul? It cost $0 if you own the game, which is awesome. And I'm telling you, like, just before we even get into the details, like, if you compare this to other games as a service, like Destiny, or like the new Avengers game, or like Anthem, or like, you know, you name it, Division. You name it for real, yeah. This at launch as a DLC add-on to an already existing awesome 9.9 out of 10 game.
That's what you gave it, right?
I think that's what I gave. I don't remember.
It was a 9A or something. I can't remember.
Something like that. Comes out for free, and it's as good, if not better, than most of those other games as a service that I've mentioned at launch.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like I said, I told you guys this earlier at the beginning of the show. If this game released as it's like totally separate, if this was not even related to Ghost of Tsushima, I would still buy this game. It's that good.
That's crazy.
So now to get into details is additionally to this, and this is something totally different, but like the one thing that I had like a complaint about for Ghost of Tsushima was that there was no New Game Plus.
No, the length basically. Yeah.
With this update, they gave us New Game Plus.
Oh, that's raw. Nice. So double the length of the game basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a double win. So let's get into Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
Are you gonna play it on Plus mode real quick?
Am I going to play it on Plus mode? Yeah, I'm going to do a playthrough on New Game Plus. Yes, for sure.
Excellent.
For sure I will. All right, so to start out, when did the game release and how much was it? Like I said, it was free. It released on Friday.
2 days old.
Yeah, so it's 2 days old. What do I like about the game? Well, it's awesome. So you've got all the really good like mechanics of the original game, you know, the really beautiful, clean fighting mechanics, and everything's transposed into this like kind of like spoopy, evil kind of realm. Like the story, I guess, would be with the invasion of the Mongols, this opened up like a rift to like the yokai realm or whatever, and started letting evil in. So in addition to what your main character Jin is doing to save Tsushima in the real world and like the land of the living, like samurai of the past, like dead samurai, are doing the same thing in the realm of the dead to save Tsushima.
Is this
and
pulling
stop
you out of? Is this like breaking the fourth wall, or is it totally in character for the game to do something like this?
It's pretty in character. Because they do what I like is that they in the game they do touch on the supernatural, but they do a real good job of basing everything in realism. And you know, even your main character does kind of like a you know, whenever you do one of those like supernatural types of missions, he talks about like, you know, what like the real world shit that's going on would be, you know. So like it keeps you based in reality, but they acknowledge the supernatural, right?
Yeah, that's dope.
This is just like fully embracing the supernatural, which is fucking awesome. It's got a full story, so like a full campaign. I played through that campaign in about, how long was my stream? About 4 hours. Which is really not bad, especially because what I didn't know when I was playing through the stream is the campaign builds upon itself with each difficulty level. I found that out today, actually, when I was playing. So you've got 3 different tiers of difficulty. You've got bronze, silver, and gold. And the bronze difficulty is pretty straightforward. You go do your mission, and that's about it. The silver difficulty, which is what I played today, or played some of today, then builds on that and adds mechanics like additional mechanics into the game. Adds bonus objectives and also even slightly different story beats in addition to what we played before. And I can only assume that the gold tier does the same thing, just builds on that some more. Yeah.
That's sick.
Another really good thing that they do in this game is the reward system is really well thought out as far as like how the difficulty and modes are tiered. So you have a story mode, and then you also have survival mode, which the survival mode is a wave-based thing. Also has 3 different tiers of difficulty. The base story gives you basically the lowest level gear. Then the next tier of gear that you would get from the survival mode, and then the next tier of gear you're gonna get is from the silver level story, and then the next tier of gear you're gonna get is from the silver level of survival. So like it staggers the power level of the gear that you get between the different modes, so it encourages you like to actually play these different modes and go back and forth, so you're not just playing the same thing over and over again, which is also fantastic. Like really smart. There's also like if there's probably some of you have played Destiny. Most of you, I know Zach's played Destiny.
Yep.
So in Destiny, you have what's called a Nightfall.
Okay.
Which is like the strike missions that you do in Destiny, the story missions or whatever, like really hyped up to another level, made much more difficult. Those are included in this game too. They're the nightmare modes. And then it's not out yet. I think it comes out in 2 or 3 weeks. There is a 3-part raid coming.
Wow. And so they really did like just take a bunch of cues from Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this game, like, if you compare it to other games as a service, it's hitting all the marks. And this is a free game. There's no microtransactions.
Wow.
Everything's unlockable in the game.
That's amazing.
There's tons of different gear, tons of different weapons and items and cosmetics and stuff, all unlockable as you play through the content.
This is like tripling the length of the game, ostensibly, you know?
Yeah.
Once you're adding like all these extra modes, plus integrating it into the main story, plus New Game Plus, which is literally just double all of it. So that's huge. That's a huge time boost for me. This is good to hear, because the one thing that annoyed me about the review was that the length of the game was like you 100%ed in like not even 40 hours, you said, or something, right?
Yeah.
I was
right around 40 hours, probably.
Yeah.
Right
to me,
40.
like you should 100% a huge open world game in like 100+ hours. It should be like endless. So it is good to hear that you add at least 20, 40, whatever hours onto this, just based on.
I was saying that to Chamali earlier. Like the base game to me, even though it's an open world game, to me it really plays more like a Zelda game.
It's pretty linear,
so you can play it 100% linearly. Like you can play it absolutely as linear as you want, and then you still have the option of the open world stuff. So it's not, I feel like it's kind of like a hybrid between like a linear story driven game and an open world adventure, which is why I think it's a great game. But again, we're talking about the Legends mode, so let's talk a little more about that. So those are the things I really like about the game. How's the gameplay? Well, if you like the base game, then you're gonna love this because it's more of that. Only better, I would say, because you get to play it co-op. You get to play with new abilities that are exclusive to this mode. Different gear grants you different abilities. At each class, there's 4 different classes. Each class has their own like super attacks and their own special things. Like the samurai class is, you know, pretty tanky, really good DPS. Everything's based on, you know, a lot of attack power, right? Not really much in the way of support with the samurai class. The hunter is all ranged, right? So she's got like more bow ammo, quicker bow draws, more accuracy with the bow, better, her super shoots out a ton of arrows, like everything's ranged. The assassin is very ninja. You can go invis, you can turn your allies invisible. So it's, very based on, that type of play style. And then the one that I've been playing the most of is the Ronin, which is more of a support character, right? So he's got an ability, he can summon animals, which is cool, that will like ghost animals that will attack your enemies. I can his super ability is a res, like if your opponent or if your homies are all dead, you can use your super and it will res them, and you can spec that out differently. So like if I wanted to, I could spec it so it when I res my homies, it lights all the bad guys on fire. Or I can spec it so when I res all my homies, everyone's health starts going up as well. So that's useful because even if people don't need a res, but everyone's dying, you can pop it and everyone will heal.
Nice.
And it doesn't matter how far away they are, like it'll heal them regardless since they're in your party. So everyone's got a whole bunch of unique abilities and it's freaking awesome. What else? So that's gameplay. The art is really amazing. Like I said, if you've played the original game, it's one of the most gorgeous games you've ever seen. Take that and then slap on like a Halloween mixed with like Japanese ghost lore look to it, and that's what you got,
Nice.
And it's incredible. Everything's gorgeous. The set pieces are really cool. I can't really say much more about that. It's just really well done. Music is the same as the original, which is fine. I haven't noticed any difference. One thing, it's not really music, but sound design. The narrator in the English is the same guy who does Uncle Iroh's voice from...
Oh, he died. It can't be.
The
second Uncle Iroh?
The second Uncle Iroh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's not Mako. He rests in peace.
Yeah. No, it's not him, which is a bummer, obviously, because he's dead.
Little soldier boy.
But new, yeah, dude. Don't make us all cry out here.
Okay, that's pretty dope. The second guy's awesome. I love that guy, too.
Yeah, he's great. Actually, he did like a special birthday video for my sister the other day. Like someone got on Cameo and had him do like a birthday video. He's just listed on Cameo.
I mean, you just search in Cameo,
yeah. And then and he seems like a really cool dude. Like she reposted the video on Twitter and he went in and like said, "Hey, it was a pleasure, blah blah blah." He's a cool guy. Anyway, he's a cool guy and he does the voice of the narrator in this game. That's what I was
badass.
So that's pretty rad. How long did it take you? So like I said before, the base level difficulty, if you're playing with a friend, you can get through it in about 4 hours. That's how long it took me. You could probably get through it quicker if you wanted to. But like I said, there's several difficulty levels. There's tons of replayability and reasons to continue playing. And this is like a games as a service. So it's like judging it by how quickly you get through the campaign of this is not really, I think, a good thing to base that off of. Theoretically, it's infinite, So is it difficult? Yes. The game is very difficult. But if you're good, if you know the mechanics, which it's all the same as the base game, and you're doing good about, managing your gear and stuff, it's definitely doable. And especially when you have your homies with you, you're doing your co-op, they're there to support you, and that's a lot of fun, dude. There's nothing like running into like a huge group of enemies with just you and your homie and just cutting them all down. You feel like you're a badass fucking samurai, and like, dude, I can't even explain the feeling. You just have to experience it. Like,
well, it's not unlike.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's not unlike any cooperative multiplayer game. It's like when we were playing Destiny together, Paul. Like running in and knowing the people you were playing with and knowing that they're going to have your back is an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's so cool.
And when you pull something off that's like, you know, it's like overwhelming odds, and like, there's just this feeling you get, like you feel like such a badass when you do that. Like,
Yeah,
it's so cool just running in and like, I don't know, like you really have to experience it to know what I'm talking about, because like I can't even explain how good it feels when I'm doing this. Like, it's so cool. Like I feel like I'm playing a freaking samurai movie, you know? Like, give me the feels. And like that, yeah, just co-op just brings it to a whole nother level. Would I play a sequel? It doesn't really apply, but yes.
Would Paul play another Ghost of Tsushima? Yes. Unequivocally, yes.
Always.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like Merktool in chat is saying, like coordinating assassinations is so fun. Like you feel like SEAL Team 6 of Samurai. You know what I mean? Like these elite motherfucking samurai assassins going in and just getting it done. It's rad. It's such a good feeling. Is the game worth buying at the current full price? Wait for a sale, skip. So again, if you own the game already, you get it for free. Is the original game worth buying at full price? I think so.
Now it is, actually.
And now it definitely is. If there wasn't enough for you before, I think now there probably is. You know what I'm saying? Like if you felt like the story was too short, well, now you got New Game Plus. If you felt like it needed co-op, well, now you got it. Now you also have all this additional content on top of that. So like, it's definitely worth it. This is probably my game of the year, guys. Like, I'm not even joking. This mode brings the whole package up to a 10 for me.
Let's find out if Hyrule Warriors. I don't see how it's going to be game of the year, but I think that Ghost is going to take game of the year. Yeah,
I don't think it is.
Hope it does.
I hope it does. I don't think it is.
Cyberpunk is.
Maybe. So here's the thing. Number one, a samurai game won last year. Fucking what's it called? Sekiro.
I don't think that should win best game because like kids can't even play it. So it's
but it did. It won game of the year, which is fine. The game's good, but it won. So number two, and I don't want to get into like politics up in here, but a lot of people in the video game journalism realm have been fighting tooth and nail for everyone to force everyone to say that The Last of Us 2 is the best game that has ever been created. Not to my knowledge. I haven't played it. I can't judge it. My sister, who is an incredibly huge Last of Us fan, she played it and she enjoyed it, but she didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. And
she was so there's no way this is a perfect game then.
Right. So like, I feel like there's going to be a big push for that. And then we don't know, Cyberpunk could just knock everything out of the water.
I doubt it though, because it's another like movie themed game where like every time they bring like actors and all this shit in and it's very like scripted like a movie, it always falls in some way. Like gameplay suffers in some way. I've yet to see, even The Last of Us, I don't like survival games as much as a lot of people. And like Resident Evil is great. And then Last of Us, I'm like, I wanted more of a zombie game. I don't even know what it is. Like, it's a story game. So like you're getting a story, right? So if the story isn't good, what the fuck's the point of the game? Like, in my opinion. And then also the gameplay can suffer because it's, a survival game that's very hard. So it's like, what are we doing here? So I don't see how that can win if the people have a say. But if it is all like you're saying a political whatever and people are getting paid to say it, then I think it's very likely that it'll win.
I don't know. That's just kind of the vibe that I've gotten from, the game journalism this summer. I mean, there was literally articles that were posted about like why Last of Us 2 is amazing and why Ghost of Tsushima is shit. And it's like, they're not even in the same genre of game. Why are you comparing the two?
That's apples and oranges.
Yeah. So
do remakes qualify for this? Because 3D All Stars is like literally 3 10s in one. So
yeah. Well, the other question is, how prevalent is something? I mean, every single one of my students is playing Among Us right now.
That's the thing. Yeah, and Among Us has online popularity. It's cooperative.
That game didn't come out this year, though.
Yeah.
Oh, did it not?
Did it really not?
No, that's an older game. It didn't come out this year. Among Us 2 was going to come out this year, but there was such a surge in popularity of Among Us 1, they canceled Among Us 2 and just started shifting resources to improving that game.
That's kind of wild. I didn't even know that game.
Yeah, I had no idea.
A month ago. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so that disqualifies that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, my vote's for Mario 35 probably if I have to go for Game of the Year but it's just not revolutionary anymore, you know? So I don't know. Like, I don't have a real vote. I think I would, if I was given all of these options and I wanted to vote for what the gaming community should get in their direction of a good game and all this, blah, 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 I think I would give it to Ghost because it is like exactly what we're trying to get out of games these days. You know, the free DLC and everything, and the story is great, and all this is great, and extra, blah, 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 blah. I want more games like that. Yeah. Like The Last of Us kind of seems like, again, a movie or movie game where it's like, you know, just story and less substance. So yeah, as much as I love the Mario remakes and all that shit, like I probably would give it to Ghost because it is a new game. And I think I just realized though, we're also competing with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh yeah.
It is probably going to get a lot of votes now. I think about it because of just the fan base. And I didn't play this one either. And
I'm gonna take off the background gameplay because I think we're done with the review. But let's continue to touch on what you're talking about.
Yes,
so Final Fantasy VII Remake. Here's the question you got to ask yourself. Now, I'm gonna say this with the knowledge that the remake of Resident Evil 2 was nominated for Game of the Year last year.
Interesting.
So, but from my perspective is like, should a remake be eligible for Game of the Year?
Overall, or was 2 a complete top-down remake?
Yeah. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 was a complete.
That's okay. Like Link's Awakening, I think, and I think those are okay. I'm not sure 3D All-Stars should qualify. I do think something like so drastically different, like 7 remake. Yeah. Qualify, because if you play the original, these are hardly considered the same game at this point anymore, and like literally it's like an 80-hour game.
Literally a totally different game. And also that there's another caveat to that though, is that it's not the full game.
That's the big one. So for me, you're playing still a 40 to 80-hour game, super cinematic, you're getting all this awesome story, and then you're not getting the rest of it. I literally told my buddy, I was like, how'd you like Final Fantasy? He was like, this was great, awesome, it's such a great game. I was like, you know that there's so much more outside of that city that you don't even see outside of the city in the game. He's like, what?
Yeah, that's like the first like third of the game, right?
Like, that's not even the biggest area in the fucking game. Like literally there's castles and fields and oceans, and it's insane.
Yeah.
How much more to this game? And I'm thinking there's going to be 4 parts to this game, probably 3 to 4 parts.
I think they said 3 initially, didn't they?
Yeah,
but
I think it was 3.
Harry Potter, come on. Yeah, we got 7. Oh, I got to the 7th one. Fuck you, there's another one. No. Or 8, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
8, 2, and I'm like, come on, you don't do that shit to people. Like. But regardless, I was waiting for so long for this remake, and then I was like, okay, they're going to do a 2-parter. And then, like you're saying, everyone's now saying it's 3 or more, including the creators. I think they might have said 3. But, like, that's just now too much. I'm into the territory where I'm not even going to buy this game until it's all on one disc or all on Steam. I don't even think, it's like, the original game was concise, and that was what was beautiful about it. I beat that game in 50, 60 hours, and I got all of it. And I wanted that remade. I didn't want like this juggernaut of a game that's now a different game. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's wrap up with the question of the day.
Yeah.
You guys ready for the question of the day? The question of the day is: how do you feel about the death of characters in games, like Aeris in Final Fantasy VII? Spoiler. Sorry. What? Main characters or supporting cast characters?
So I definitely have strong opinions about this.
You have strong opinions. I'll go first then.
Please do.
I think that deaths in video games, if done correctly, is one of the best things you can do in a video game. I think that that it really, if the character development is done right, it really brings you into that game emotionally. It leaves you with a strong feeling of that game. Like I think that a character death in a game, if done right, is fantastic. Cayde-6 in Destiny. I think his death not only was done really well because he was a beloved character and they did him justice in his death. It wasn't just like some terrible thing and you got your vengeance and all this stuff. Like, it was done really well, but also that character had kind of reached his peak, and the kind of vibe of the game it was shifting as such that his character didn't really fit it very well anymore. So I think it was a necessary death. So, but conversely, I think that if you do it just for the sake of doing it, yeah, that kind of is stupid.
Takes the emotion out of it.
So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Who, me? You go first.
Are you?
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
So, fair warning, spoilers for the Gears of War franchise coming up.
Oh no, no one dies in those games.
No, God forbid. Alex, my buddy Alex and I have been playing through the entire story of Gears of War. We just finished Gears 5 this past Thursday, and we didn't expect to. In the ending of Gears, I think it was 3, the best friend character, Dominic Santiago, is killed off. And it was perfect. It absolutely broke our hearts. And I've played Gears 3 a couple of times. It breaks my heart every single time I see Dom die. And then this Gears 5, the end of Act 3, you choose who dies.
Damn.
Either Marcus Phoenix's son or his son's best friend.
Probably his son's best friend, but yeah.
That's well, so right. We actually put it to the chat. We put it to Twitch chat, and they chose to kill the best friend.
Okay,
so we next stream, when we stream together again, we're gonna pick the other option and just see how it affects the ending. But like, it hurt pressing that button to choose that Del is gonna die.
Yeah.
And like, I was so emotionally invested in that character, and then at the very end, your little robot friend who's been helping you unbelievably through the entire story of Gears 5 sacrifices itself. It makes its own decision to sacrifice itself. And every single character, you just get this montage of every character being like, Jack, no! And of course, Alex and I were freaking out too. We're like, no, Jack, we worked so hard to perfect Jack over the course of this game, and now they're taking him away from us? That's horrible. And the emotional impact was real, and it was perfect. So like, yeah, I personally think that death in video games, like Paul said, if it's done correctly, it's fine. The question then becomes, and Josh, you mentioned this before we went live, when Gears 6 comes out, how do they reflect that decision? There's a couple of thought camps here. Either there's a canon decision and 50% of you did it wrong, or
this is the end of it,
or you like it asks you at the beginning of the game, who did you kill off in the end of Gears 5?
Oh, it'd be interesting. What if it uses your save data, possibly?
Yeah. Well, I'd hope so, but the problem is you're going to have a new console generation.
That's true. People that don't have.
Yeah, but so here's the thing: Xbox
years and years later.
Time out. I got this one answered for you.
Okay,
I gotcha.
You're going to go with Game Pass, aren't you?
Well, yes and no, but Xbox's new infrastructure, not only are they doing, what is it called? Their new policy of transferring games to next gen, but also like everything's backwards compatible on the Xbox infrastructure. So it very smart delivery. That's what it's called. Thank you, Jamali.
Thank you.
So I think it would be very easy, as long as you've stayed on the Xbox infrastructure, which you would have if you're playing this game, for them to be able to pull your cloud save of that game and, linked to your account and have that information already stored.
Right. And then so Blink brings up another good point. Like, what if someone's diving into the franchise on 6, which, I mean, I dove in on Gears 4. Like, that's perfectly reasonable. So then if they did it that way, they're going to have to make a canon decision.
Maybe. Or at the beginning of the game, you have a character select, and whichever you select is the person that's alive.
Oh, that's okay. I hadn't thought of that. That makes sense.
Interesting. Wow, that's crazy. And it just gets way Spider Veiny after that. I don't know. I think the most likely is to Final Fantasy and do a new generation of people.
Well, so they just did that though. The first 3.5 Gears games, or 4.5 Gears games if you count Judgment, were about the same team. Delta Team was the same, and then they introduced the new generation in the back half of Gears 4.
Interesting. I don't know. They got this one out. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some coalition. You've got decisions to make, and I support you either way. I will be playing Gears 6 no matter how they make it. But
everyone's gonna be dead soon.
Yeah, I mean, about there anyway.
Pretty much, right?
So, like Chamali just said, in Mass Effect, they did the same thing. Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 1 are different console generations, and they had you make your decision at the beginning of Mass Effect 2.
No way. That's really cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ghost of Tsushima also has a really good death at the end of it. It's a decision you have to make, and it's a hard decision. And that's another reason I'm super stoked about the New Game Plus, is because I can go back and make the decision I didn't make. So I'm excited about doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that deaths in a video game are pretty, if done well, pretty important. Josh, what were your thoughts on it?
I think we all kind of agree. I think that just like in a movie, I think like a show like Game of Thrones, even, or like a movie, maybe, like, what are we talking?
Well, Endgame.
I was literally about to say, I couldn't remember. Endgame. Yeah, exactly. Was my exact reference I was going to say. Where like characters that have been built up through this massive performance and that you get attached to in some way, and that getting killed off is much more meaningful. Like Eris, I didn't see coming at all. That, like, just talking about one of the
no one saw it. No one saw it coming.
I played this game when I was not as super young, because I didn't get it when it first came out, but I was like 20, I think. And even still, I was like, whoa, I don't see that very often in games. I put a lot of investment into this character.
That was another one of the big early internet rumors too, was because everyone thought it was so unexpected. Like, everyone thought that there was a way to save her in the game.
Yeah, and they were like scouring. That makes sense. Yeah, and that's just such like a heartbreaking. You're like, what the fuck? I mean, there was even one in Paper Mario, Origami King, straight up Bobby, and you're like, do they really just kill off a character on your party? So that was pretty like heart-wrenching, but like comically so. So there's other games like that require death, in my opinion, where, like, if you've ever played Valiant Hearts, this is a great game where it's literally about World War II from the different perspectives of all these characters, like the German guy, the French guy, and all these people that go through their World War I. Sorry. It's been a while. And it's like all these letters actually from World War veterans and stuff, like found after and during the war and whatever, and they like create characters based on them, I want to say, is how it was. And I think that everyone is for the most part factual in this, but I'm not sure the events are 100%. Regardless, death was obviously like had to be for these characters for you to really grasp the emotion. Like, if your characters have a happy ending at the end, I would have been like, what the fuck? Like, World War I, we did it. Like, like, so I fully expected your characters to die. Spoiler alert for Valiant Hearts, this game is 4 years old. The last scene is literally, aside from everyone else dying along the way, is you walking like the main character like to the gallows, or like to the like to get executed at gun firing range or whatever. And you like, it's coming. You can't do anything about it. And like the cute little dog is like, no, don't go. And like he'd like watching you walk yourself, and you like don't want to do it. But like, it's such a necessary and emotional journey. And like, and again, this is when it's done right. It's like the most driving thing in a game. And you're like, wow, the amount of experience and emotion I gained from that. It's not just watching a person die. It's like, wow, like that death was meaningful. That's how it's done well. And then there's ones like in Game of Thrones where the bad ones, where it's just like someone dies for no reason. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why'd you kill off this main guy? He didn't do anything wrong. There wasn't even any driving, like, compassionate reason to kill him off. So like Game of Thrones is a good example for both sides, where they kill off the one that's meaningful and the one that doesn't matter. So I would say, if done right, amazing. I can't really think of any examples where it's done wrong. But
that was going to be my question. Can you guys think of a game where death was shitty? Like, it wasn't done right. It was unnecessary.
I mean, some of the early Star Wars games, there were some characters in those that just like, why did you kill that character?
Like what? Give me an example.
Was it Dark Forces that? No,
Oh,
it was one of the later Dark Forces games.
yeah. Okay,
Where
I guess
Jan
there
dies.
was. Okay, yeah.
I'm really trying to think here.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like Star Wars games that weren't canon or that were removed from canon, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. What about Shadows of the Empire? Is there any?
Yeah.
I mean, Navi dies in Ocarina, and that was pretty sad, but it
That's
also
true.
drives home Majora's
Yeah.
Mask.
Also, yeah. Also, everyone wanted Navi to die. Like
the
everyone's
arrow.
just like,
Well, that's true.
this bitch needs to shut up. God damn it.
I don't realize she dies at the end either, but like Link is like, she went in this direction, but like
Yeah.
literally to go die because she had done her fairy journey.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of upsetting because like if you cared about the character, you're like, but also she was annoying as fuck. I'm more related to the story where Navi like led Link, and I'm like, okay, even though she's annoying me on all the journeys, I still understand what the character was.
Yeah.
So I do think it's sad and kind of lame, but then again, completely saved by being literally the catalyst for why Link goes on his adventure in Majora's Mask. So like,
Right.
I can't really think of anything like where the death isn't meaningful, and I think that's because it's so carefully chosen. When you kill a character, especially in a franchise, like a franchise character, it's one thing to kill off a one-off character, like who's just in this game, but
Yeah.
when you kill off a main character, done right, so meaningful, and yet I think that's why it's not done often enough to have bad examples, really.
Chamali makes a really good point too, and I guess it's kind of what you were just saying is like meaningless deaths are pretty forgettable.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I did just a quick Google search. Sonic CD. If you like leave him idle, he'll just throw himself off a cliff.
What the fuck? Gotta run furrows.
He just says, "I'm out of here," and throws himself off the screen to his death.
no way.
Wow,
That's
that's
hilarious. You could not put that in a video game these days.
amazing.
No,
That's hilarious.
that's a
Oh
riot.
my god.
I mean, Bottles dies, and it's really sad in Banjo-Tooie, but then don't you bring him back to life? I can't remember. You do, right? You gotta.
So
I don't know.
Someone
can't
say yes
remember.
or
I don't
no.
remember
How
that
do
game
I
very
not know this? Colin just appear in the chat and say the answer. But regardless, like nothing, yeah, like Chamali's saying, if it's forgettable, like we don't care anyway. It's like in Doom, like if one of the characters dies, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Who are these guys anyway? Like, exactly. It's not like Samus died in the next Metroid game, where we're like, what? Please don't. Oh, please, Nintendo, don't do that.
Don't do that.
oh god, that'd be terrible.
And then she's taken over by like another. Like I can see all these things happening if they wanted to make Metroid darker. Actually,
Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Jon Snow.
Yeah. Right on, guys. Well, that's pretty much
Yeah,
all
it's
we
true.
have for the day. Let's see here. Let's get this up real
had a long one.
quick. Huh? What's that?
And a nice long one. Ooh, socials.
Boom. So yeah, that's pretty much all we got. I'm Paul Ryugami-san. You're on my channel right now if you're watching us live on Twitch. You can also find us on YouTube. The link is in the chat, as well as our me, Josh, and Colin's Twitch channels. And you can find me. You can find me on Twitter at Ryugami-sama. Josh, where can we find you, my homie?
Find me at Lord Yeshua on Twitch and Lord Yeshua TTV on all my socials. You know, just Google it, whatever. I don't know. Don't do it on YouTube actually, because then God comes up. You have to do TTV. Yeah, so that's really funny. I first realized that after I made it, but forget it.
That's
Anyway, I'm
Zach-
there. I'm not really streaming so hard, but you'll see me here at least.
Yeah. Zach, where can we find you, my dude?
I'm on Twitch at Another Letdown. My YouTube channel is Another Letdown CF. Someone already had Another Letdown, which was Another Letdown. And I'm all over the place on socials. I guess DENONCZD is my Twitter. But generally speaking, if you CF stands for Coalition Films, Blink.
Crazy farts.
It's crazy parts.
That should be mentioned. Chamali brought it up. Golden Axed. We didn't put this in the news. I totally forgot about it.
Golden Axe.
There was a Golden Axe game that was
Golden Axe
canceled.
fucking literally, are you talking about the beat 'em up?
Yes, listen.
Oh.
There was a Golden Axe game that was canceled, and right now it's free on Steam. Only for today. And same thing, another game called that's a mishmash between the Streets of Rage and Yakuza games. It's called Streets of Kamurocho. Also free only today on Steam.
Golden Axe, a canceled prototype, dude.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
they
so don't forget to get
really-
those.
What was the second one called? I'm literally down there right
It's
now.
in the chat. It's in the chat. Sonic 2 is free as well. Also, guys, is there someone we can raid right now?
Mindari.
She's not streaming. She's sick.
Streets of Kamurocho.
Kamurocho. Kamurocho.
Oh wow, this is great. I'm downloading all these free. Dude, Golden Axe is great. If any of you haven't played it or on the Super Nintendo or in the arcade at your local pizza place because you don't have arcades anymore, that's like how I played this game.
Yeah, check those out on Steam.
I'm definitely getting them right now.
Does
Sonic.
anyone have someone we can raid?
Friends.
I don't have friends either.
Sonic 2. Someone gave me that other Sonic collection that has Sonic 2 in it. Sonic Mania, it's called. And I'm
Oath?
like,
Who's Oath? Is that their whole Twitch name? We can raid Oath.
sounds like a dope guy to get that.
Yeah. Is that their whole name? If you give me their whole name, I'll raid them. Dearly beloved.
For some reason, the way Sonic is set up, I have to.
Are those things at the end part of her name?
I got it. Part of her name. Part of her name.
Okay, cool. We'll raid her. All right. Hang out for the raid, guys, and we'll see you guys next week. And I'll probably be streaming this week. Probably going to stream more Tsushima, continue Shining Force 2, and maybe some other shit.
All right, playing some Golden Axe.
Yep. Yeah, Golden
Rayman
Axe.
Battle Network.
Yeah, absolutely now.
All right, guys. Have an awesome night. We're raiding in 10 seconds. Stick around.
9, 6, 5.
4, 3,
Three,
2, 1. Good night.
See ya. Damn, dude. Nice. Free games. Wow.
Yep,
What,
I just snagged that.
Yeah, get those.